Greetings! Well, it is now the next day or so, and I think it's time to start loading some software onto these vintage PCs and see how we get on. Now, as I said in the first part of this little vlog, I'm not so familiar with Windows PCs. I was a Macintosh user for 20 years, so I think this will be rather interesting. Therefore, given I've got DOS up and running on this, off camera, and learnt a lot in the process, I want to move across to my Pentium 75 as the next machine in the row. And for that, I've got a number of options for installing Windows 95. One of the more exciting options, which I may do, and I may do just for the hell of it, is the Windows floppy drive installer experience. 13 discs, I believe, I hope. And what I understand is this is the last operating system Microsoft offered on floppy disk. So I think that could be rather interesting. Right then, time to clear away all of this. It's going to take a little while. I'll probably fast forward through this bit. The all-important cup of coffee. Go and check out the Cambridge Museum of Technology. Really interesting place. They even have a couple of vintage scanning electron microscopes. Who has a scanning electron microscope? The museum does. The second machine, the Gateway. Now this one has a zip drive in there. That's going to be quite useful. Then this one. This machine, I repainted the front because it had faded, got very, very tanned. It is a no brand machine, no markings on there. Space for a badge above the green, but it should be blue dot. No indications on the back, nothing underneath. This is a completely generic no-name PC, and I even had to do some welding to repair the bracket to keep it closed. I now have a choice. I can use clicky keyboard from my Opus, but I can use a rather nice, can we bring that right up, can we see it? There we go. A Dan keyboard and mouse. I rather like these. It's nice and clean. One monitor. This monitor actually has two inputs. It is a CTX Pro Scan, and it has two inputs, two VGA inputs. This is plugged in and this is plugged in at the same time, but I don't think we need this one. There we are, the 486. Now if I turn that around, there you can see compact flash card. There you can just about see Opus technology. Seems a bit bright on that sticker, but it's there. Perhaps it'll turn around that way. And various things plugged in. There is a sound card, but I'm not sure I've got the drivers for it yet. We'll see what we can do about that. Left hand or right hand? I do something unusual. I put the mouse in the left hand. Why? I'm not left-handed. It's because the keypad is on the other side. It just makes sense to me that way. It puts the keyboard in the middle. Am I the only person who does that? Got power there. This will take us to the boot screen, where we can begin the job. CD-ROM installed, no hard drive, floppy drive A installed, insert bootable media into the appropriate drive. We're ready to go. Bye for now. Well, now we're ready to install a fresh operating system onto this machine. There's one more step that I want to take so I can share the experience with you. And that involves another piece of vintage hardware. I managed to find a VGA splitter. If I open this up, there's the packs in here. Put that to one side. So, proper authentic of its time VGA splitter. One input, two outputs. There were varieties of these with more outputs. But that's going to do me. And if this works, it will then go via another piece of authentic hardware, this time for my old Macintosh. This is the pinnacle video capture for Mac, which is this device here. Plugs in on a USB. There we go. USB, nothing special. However, it is composite input. So one more step, and that is one of these cheap little Chinese adapter gadgets which I bought off eBay. And assuming this works, I'll be able to record the screen. If it doesn't work, you may never see this little clip. However, there we are. Input on one side, VGA, complete with sound as well by the looks of it. On the outside, on the other side, is the composite that I need to be able to capture the video. I hope this works. If it does, I'll plug it into a Mac Mini or something similar, and you'll be able to see what's on the screen. Let's give it a try. Well, sadly, the Mac Mini Resplendent with iOmega hard drive has failed me. It doesn't want to boot up. I think I need to change the hard drive for an SSD. So it's not just 1 GB hard drives that have failed me, it's also little laptop hard drives in little computers like this. So, not quite so retro. I've had to resort to the laptop. You can see I'm out of frame there. And the concept works, and I will I'll wave my iPhone around and show you what I've created there. But for now, before we do that, we are back where we were. The boot screen, insert bootable media in the appropriate drive. And this is the first step to getting an operating system loaded up. There's one thing I've forgotten, hence I've just switched it off. I'm looking around. I haven't actually put the hard drive in. So I shall do that now. Reach around the back. This is a fresh compact flash card, not formatted, haven't done anything at all with it. So hopefully this will show the process. That's that. Quick as that. Find the slot, put it in. I shall boot back up. Little blue record screen should go back to picking up the signal. And I will have to find a boot disc. Now, I've got a number of these that have been made up in the past. Not that one. So what I've got here, the rather old Windows 95 boot disc, might use that. More modern one I've made up, but I've also made up a Windows 98 boot disc, and there's a reason for this, which I will come to. Now, booting up this time with the compact flash card, hard disk 0, installed compact flash card and the CD-ROM, so thankfully it's reading that, floppy installed, it's reading that. Missing operating system. Now this is where we need to start with one of these. Let's use my own. Windows 95, as that's what we're going for. Let's try that first. And I think we will reset to create a reboot. Now it's found the hard disk, it's found the CD, now it's found the floppy drive, and hopefully it will install. As on the BIOS, of course, I've set this to boot from floppy disk, then from hard drive. Starting Windows 95, although that's actually DOS. It's not quick. Here we are at the A boot screen. Now what I wouldn't have guessed is they're not called hard drives, they're called fixed disks. Why? Anyway, the point is you write F disk for the program to manage the hard drive. That took me a long time to find out. That is available on the Windows 95 boot disk, I believe. Yes, it is. Your computer has a disk larger than 512. Yes, it is. It's 1 GB. It's twice that. So do you want to enable large disk support? Yes, I do. Now we can create partitions and so on. The first thing we might do, number 4, display partition information. Let's see what we've got. We actually have a primary DOS that's set to active. I wonder if I've tried this already. I don't think I have. Maybe they come formatted. It is an industrial compact flash card after all. I've got 2 more. If I show you, very plain, very simple packaging, nothing special. These are the cheap ones you buy off eBay from China for about £4 or £5 each, depending on how many you buy in one go. So as that is, it's got no volume label, but it is active. Now what shall I do? We'll go back to this. Let's go to number 3. Delete primary DOS partition. I'm going to do this so I can give it a label. Warning, do you want to delete the whole partition? Yes, I do. There's nothing on this drive. The volume label doesn't have one. Are you sure? Yes. Now that's deleted. Press escape to continue. Now we start at number 1. You see we've gone through these numbers back to front. We start at 1, create a primary partition. 1 again, as it will be a primary DOS partition. It's assessed everything. Do you want to use all the available space? Yes, I do. Now I must restart the computer. Any drives you have created or changed must be formatted after you restart. It's complicated. So we will restart the computer and then we will format that partition. Now this halts for a moment because with a 1 GB card it's actually reading through the card, I think, to make sure there's no operating system on there, and it takes a moment. And the more you use the card, the slower this process gets. But I'm going to use the Windows 95 floppy disk for this process because once I format the disk, I know that that formatting is compatible with the operating system that will go on it. We're nearly there. A couple of drivers, A and then A once again. And have a look at what's on the directory. We do have format.com, so we can do that. Format C. Now there's something else I have to do, and I wonder if it's stroke S for system. I hope that's right, fingers crossed. Seems happy enough. If you write stroke S, it puts the system files on there so it becomes a bootable disk. Again, nobody's out there to tell you these things. You have to find it out for yourself. Warning, all data on non-removable disk drive C will be lost. Proceed with the format? Yes. Well, it whizzes through it because it's a compact flash card. Writing the allocation table. Volume label, 11 characters, or enter for none. Well, I'm going to call this SCOM. Well, I don't need to call it P75, do I? Yes, P75. Because it will be the original operating system for this. So there we are, volume label. Now that's what I've put in. Anyway, 1,000 million bytes. It's done. Directory once again. At this point, I can't remember what to do. So what I'm going to do, having formatted the disk in a format that I know Windows 95 will like, I'm going to switch to the Windows 98 boot disk, and this will install drivers to run the CD drive, or in this case DVD drive, because I needed something to work. So Windows 98 SE boot disk. Reset to restart. Again, 4 programs. But we'll see if there's a setup exe. Nope, not on that one. So this is clearly just software. Setup is now going to perform a routine check on your system. Press enter to continue. Now that sounds very like the disks, the floppy disks. Hey! Finally, we're underway. Setup will take 30 to 60 minutes. Have you got time? Depending on the speed of your computer. It's not that fast. To continue, to begin setup, click continue.